YouTube. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to my channel, The Masculine Legacy. And in this video, guys, we're gonna be talking about that what happens if you remove God from your life. What happens if you remove religion? If you remove the commandments from the Lord from your life? What kind of consequences you have to suffer? And what I have suffered in my life when I did that, right? I'll tell you everything. So this video is kind of my testimony, right? And it's going to be a interesting video. So watch this video till the very end and like this video, share this video, comment down your views in the comment section, and subscribe to my channel to join the best tribe on YouTube for young men, right? So yeah, let's start the video, guys. So there was a time in my life when I also became a woke man. I also became a liberal man. I also became anti God, anti religion, right? Both in my deeds, in my thoughts, and in my actions, right? uh, and that was a time back when I was in my university, I was in my college, uh, and it was a new life for me. And there were girls, there were parties, there were all kind of degeneracy. And I thank God that I didn't indulge in doing drugs or alcohol. And I'm very proud to say that I will be 23 in June 2023. This year in June I will be 23 years old. But in the whole 23 years old existence of mine, I have never ever consumed uh, alcohol. I have never smoked a cigarette. I have never done drugs. uh, I've never eaten, I've never consumed non-vegetarian food, and I'm very proud to say that. But as I told you, in college, when I joined the college, I became a rebellious person. And I was brought up into a conservative religious family. But my family was like, my parents are religious, but they were like, they were just like normal parents. There was not much talk about religion, about God's commandments, and about what's right and not, well, like what's right and or wrong in the eyes of God. Like, my parents were normal parents. They just taught me the basic do's and don'ts, but they never taught me about uh, religion, or the religion rules, or how the world will misguide me, right? They never taught me that. um, and that is also the fact why I want to pass on these wisdom, these wise teachings, these precious nuggets of knowledge to my future children, right? And I'll guide them right from the childhood. So I was talking about that they, apart from the religious activities or functions or festivals or religious ceremonies, my parents never taught me about what who God is, and what religion actually is, and how Satan or the devil will try to deceive me on every step of my life. And because of that, at a very tender age of 12, I got indulged into pornography. I got indulged into adult films, and I started watching those nasty things on my phones, on my laptops. And I remember the days when I used to browse some of the banned sites using VPN, right? I hope that you guys know the VPN stuff, right? So I used to access some of the banned sites, and I was a very filthy kind of person. And in the starting, as you know, that every vice is enjoyable, and later on it becomes pain in your, you know what, it becomes pain in your backyard. I can't say that a word on YouTube, right? It becomes a pain for you. So yeah, I enjoyed pornography. I enjoyed adult scenes. And I remember that I used to download the videos and store it in my computer, and make folders with the name of study material. And I used to store my filthy stuff, nasty stuff there. And I used to have these favorite actresses. I used to Google the best curvy actresses, the best blonde actresses, the best brunette actresses, the best MILF and best Ebony and all these kind of categories, best amateur, best POV. I still remember these names. Right, it's sickening, guys. So that was the time when I indulged into these vices of sexual sin. I was committing the adultery from my eyes, and as Bible says that you should not commit the adultery even from the eye, but I was doing it. I was committing adultery, I was fapping, I was wasting my semen, and I just indulged, I just grossed into uh, uh, sins, and I was not even realizing it. I was because everywhere on the internet, if you Google, if you watch YouTube, if you watch the advices from doctors, if you follow the mainstream advice, they all will advise you that fapping is healthy, wasting your semen is healthy, sleeping with chicks is healthy, watching hub movies are healthy, or it's kind of quote unquote normal. So I started indulging into these things, and I didn't face any consequences. So I thought that it was chill to do that. In my college days, when I started indulging, when I started talking to chicks, when I started talking to girls, right? That those were the days when I started committing fornication. I started committing adultery, right? And when I started sleeping with women, when I started sleeping with chicks, right? At that time, I was fully immersed into sinful things, right? And then I started reading about feminism and the woke ideology, which is 24 by 7 presented to you by the mainstream media or TV or movies or whatever, or magazines, or wherever you want to see that 24 by 7 this woke liberal SJW ideology is being presented to you, right? And I started taking that, and I started realizing, I started thinking that this is how the world is supposed to. And I was convinced by these woke newspapers, by these woke magazines, by these woke movies, and by these quote unquote degenerate filthy YouTubers, influencers, that uh, men are toxic, masculinity is toxic, or patriarchy is bad, and we want to kill all the men, and men are pigs, men are dogs. And I used to be, I remember those days when I used to be ashamed of my own masculinity. I used to be ashamed to just express my dominance as a man, my aggression as a man, and to exercise my masculine traits. And it was horrible. And I started becoming quote unquote as a male feminist, right? And I started propagating the feminist ideologies. And remember, in my college days, I used to have these long debates with my fellow men, and I started preaching the feminist ideologies, right? God, I cannot believe that I used to be a man like that. And quote unquote I became a mangina, right? A man with vagina who has no balls, right? Who has no morals. I started promoting all kind of filth, that casual sex is right, and one night stands are right, and you can sleep with anyone, it doesn't matter, body count doesn't matter, virginity does not matter, you should not judge a woman by the number of men she has slept with, right? I started doing all that things. Even now I'm telling you all these things, I'm laughing, because I cannot believe that I used to be this disgusting, right? In my earlier days, just 2 3 years back, I started preaching all these things. I I had feminist girlfriends. I discussed topics of feminism ideologies, and I promoted that a woman should be feminist, a man should be feminist, and we all should party, we all should drink, we all should just live life as per our choices. No one should judge us, no one should basically put a restraint on us. And men are bad, men are toxic, patriarchy is bad, as I told you, right? And then slowly I started diving into this whole homosexuality agenda, this whole LG, you know what, kind of men marrying men, men loving men, women loving women, men loving both men and women, and transgenderism, that men are feeling that they are not a man anymore and they are born in a biological male body, but they feel like a woman, and all this uh, nonsense, all this garbage, right? And it's like a pyramid scheme, like you, it's like a swamp, it's like a deep pit hole, it's like never ending rabbit hole. You just start falling into it and you go deeper and deeper and deeper into this cycle of degeneracy, right? See how I started at pornography, how I started at just masturbation, simply a young horny teen masturbating. I started from that point and I ended up into LGTB and Q and whatever 64 70 genders theory, and I started believing that gender and biological sex are different, and you can be born as a male, but you can feel like a woman, and you, this whole gender fluidity kind of concept. And amongst all these beliefs, amongst all my research, I sometimes started questioning that, am I a real am I a man? Do I feel like a man? I started questioning my own sexuality. Like not much, because I always knew that I'm a man and I always felt attraction for a woman. But I'm just quoting you that how all these woke ideologies, how all these things damage you, right? How it can turn a normal young teenager to a weird grown up adult, right? And then I started developing the tendencies of depression, then I started developing the tendencies of overthinking. There was a fear 24 by 7 inside my heart, and due to unknown reasons I always thought that my life is uncertain and anything can happen and this and that. I used to be fearful at my college, I used to be fearful at my exams, even though in my night I used to get up and I just felt fearful for nothing, right? uh, i I didn't even knew, I didn't even know that for what I'm feeling fearful. I was just feeling fearful, just socially anxious, I didn't want to meet anyone, and it was very depressive. And I didn't understood for a very long time that the very basic reason is not that I'm a depressed person or there is something wrong with me, or I should go and consult a psychotherapist or psycho whatever, these psychiatrists or psychologists, and they will put me on antidepressant and they will give me some kind of medications or whatever, right? Then I started dabbling into semen retention. I started reading about semen retention, I started doing semen retention, and I just did it for a test, I just did it for a fun, like let's why not just try this, right? I started doing this for trying, and slowly I started reaping its benefits. Slowly I started, then from semen retention I connected semen retention to spirituality, and from spirituality I came into religion. And then I started reading the holy books of Hinduism, Bhagavad Gita, the Vedas, the Upanishads, which are the holy books of Hindus. I started reading them, and then from there I started dabbling into Islam. I started reading Quran, right? I started hearing the Islamic prayer azan, right? And hi to and greetings to all my Muslim brothers, right? Brothers and sisters, whoever you are, depending you are a man or woman listening to this video. So yeah, and then I started dabbling into Christianity, then I read Bible, and I'm a big fan of Bible, Jesus Christ. Even like till this day I read Bible here and there, right? I just subconsciously keep thinking about Bible verses, I just quote Bible verses in my videos, I just plug them into my video randomly here and there, right? Bible has a great impact on my life, and I believe that if even if you are an atheist, even if you are a non-believer, you should read Bible in your life, right? So then I started finding out that what's the real problem in my life, what's the root cause of all my sufferings. And then I realized that the root cause of my suffering in my life is that I removed God from my life, I removed religion from my life. And that is why today I'm a big proponent of religion. That is why in my every single video you will hear me yelling out through my phone, right? I always yell. I don't tell, I yell, right? That as a man, you need to follow religion. As a man, you need to get on following some kind of religion, right? Whatever religion you choose Hinduism, you choose Muslim, Islam, you choose Christianity, you uh, Judaism or Sikhism or whatever kind of religious ideology you want to follow. Or if you want to be like me, who is following the religious teachings, who is basically by birth a Hindu, I'm a Hindu by birth, but I practice Hinduism for the most part, but I read religious books of any religion. I just enjoy reading religious text of every religion, because basically they all are pointing in just one direction. They are telling you that God is one and He is the Almighty, and you should follow the commandments of God. You should not commit adultery. You should not. You should be a good man. You should stay away from sins. You should refrain from sins. You should not fornicate. These are the things which all religion teach you. So I enjoy reading religious texts, and that's why I keep on hammering the point that you should also read them. And that I then I started reading religion. Then I started diving into the words of God, following the words of God, and then I slowly realized that I was following a moral code. I started abolishing the ideas of feminist ideology and this whole LGBTQ or whatever, right? Garbage it is. I started abolishing those ideas. I started putting sexual restraints on myself. I started lowering my gaze. I started practicing celibacy. I started seeing women as my sisters, as my mothers, right? And I started promoting the concept of virginhood. I started judging women on body count, and all these things which should be there in your nature as a man. I started becoming a masculine man again from a effeminate degenerate men, right? And so yeah, then that's when I realized that what happens if you remove uh, God and religion from your life. That's why I keep promoting these things, guys. There is a reason behind why I keep on hammering, why I keep on telling you that you should follow religion, because religion is super important, guys. And I feel very fortunate. I feel very humble that God chose me. God showed me the real path. God showed me the true path, right? The Almighty God guided me, navigated me, put me on the right path. And maybe I could have committed suicide if God didn't choose me. Maybe I be strayed away from all these paths. I be continuing all these degenerate filthy sins all my life and wasted my life just like a pig, right? And waste my afterlife. But God chose me, and I'm very humble for that. I'm very grateful for that. So that's my testimony, guys. That's what I shared with you. And I know that it's a long video, but it's my heart is really feeling very light. And I feel very fortunate that I have you guys listening my words. And that's why I told you all these things, because I don't want you guys to waste a few years of your conscious existence into committing sins and into living a life of degenerate man. I want you guys to be back on the road of religion, be back on the road of God, start following the commandments of God, and stop wasting your life, right? So yeah, that's my message. I don't promote any red pill. I don't promote any kind of other satanic stuff. I'm just all about God. I'm just all about masculinity. I'm just all about pure purpose as a man, and the true spirituality at its core. That's what I preach, that's what I practice. So yeah, Like this video, share this video, comment down, and subscribe to my channel if you like this video, guys. I'll come back with a fresh topic in a fresh new video. Till then, keep smiling. God bless you. Love you all, guys. Take care.